Alright, so now on the Silhouette Studio software, I'm going to first open my library. I want to use the Lindy flowers. Now because I just want the outlines of the flowers, first I'm going to ungroup my group here so that they're all separate. And I showed you how to do that in the other tutorial on how to download and use the files. I'm going to click on these inner lines and delete them because I just want those inner flowers. So I want, and you can actually tell how big these are because when you click on them they say 4.630 inches by 4.110 inches. So that's really handy because when you click and drag any of the corners here, the numbers move with it. So you can tell exactly what size you're getting. So I want to do the, let's say the 3 top layers, and I'm just going to keep them original size. So I'm going to delete the bottom layer and just put these in a practical position here. Now I'm just going to go to this button right here, Send to Silhouette, and I'm going to hit Change Settings. Now I've added some paper here, paper types, so I'm going to use the Wausau 65-pound cover. By the way, to add a paper type, you can click this plus sign right here and then adjust all of your cut settings, and it'll have you type in a name, and that's how I've gotten these custom settings. So this is speed 10, thickness 33, and blade 3. And I have a pretty new blade and mat, so I'm pretty confident that that's going to work due to my testing. So if you're not sure, always do a test cut and see if it comes out clean. So then I'm going to put my cardstock onto my cutting mat and feed it into my CAMEO and then hit cut. So here's my clear cutting mat, and I'm just going to peel off that backing, replaceable backing, set that aside in a clean place so it doesn't get any dust on it. Now this is the white cardstock that I'm going to use for the flowers, so I'm just lining it up with a grid and smoothing it out on that adhesive cutting mat. And as you can see, the grid from the back looks pretty lined up, so that's good. Now I'm going to insert it into the Silhouette CAMEO. So my Silhouette CAMEO is all hooked up and ready to go, and I'm just going to open the cover, and the rollers are at the widest, so that's correct. I'm going to make sure that my blade is at the correct setting. Yes, it is. It's at number 3. So I'm going to line it up with the leftmost mark here. Make sure it's going in between those rollers and then hit enter to load my sheet. Now I'm going to go back to the computer and hit cut. Now it's cutting my design. Alright, all finished. Hit enter to unload my sheet. And now it's time to peel those off. Now what I like to do is to turn my cutting mat over and peel away the cutting mat from the cardstock. And that way I can not warp the paper as much, because the plastic will go, this plastic cutting mat will go back to its original shape. The paper will too if you uncurl it with your hands, but I just find it easier to preempt that by peeling the cutting mat away from my cardstock. Now if you're using a lighter weight paper, that might not work. You might have to just deal with the curling of the paper as it comes off your cutting mat, depending on how new and sticky your cutting mat is. Mine's been used a few times. It's still pretty new, but it's coming off really easy. And I want to make sure to cover that up with the replaceable cover. Set that aside. And now I have my pretty flower shapes. Here's the largest, medium, and small.